Welcome to Aging Gracefully on Suncoast FYI. I'm your host, Nancy O'Neill. Each week I speak with local professionals on a wide range of topics, from fitness to finances and from dance to dentistry. We are here to give you tips and advice on how you can live a happy and healthier life no matter what age you may be. We're starting the show today with Lori Augustiniak, and Lori is the owner of Horizon Insurance. She has come with more tips on all things insurance for us. Good to have you back.
Thanks, Nancy.
Now, last time you were here, we spent some time talking about independent agents and auto insurance. But today, we'd like to tell the viewers a little bit more about you and what Horizon Insurance is all about.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us what makes a difference? Why are you different than a big box, we'll say, insurance company?
Right. So Horizon Insurance, we've been around since 1989. We have offices in Bradenton, in the Lakewood Ranch area. We also have an office down in Port Charlotte. But just because we have office locations, that doesn't mean we can't write anywhere. We're licensed in the state of Florida, so we can write all over the state. We have, with technology nowadays, we have phone, email, texting.
Sure.
We have video cameras at our agents' desks, so we still want that personal touch. You know, when you become a client of Horizon Insurance, you're part of the Horizon Insurance family, we say. So we like to have that face-to-face contact. So we want to make it convenient for clients. You don't have to leave your home or your office and still have that personal relationship with us.
But they could come in
if
absolutely.
They wanted
to.
Yes,
okay.
yes, we do. We do.
Some people really still like that personal touch,
We do.
Yeah.
And that's funny you mentioned that, because my husband and I are dog lovers. We have 2 golden retrievers, Kenai and Kita, and we bring them into the office all the time. And I wonder sometimes if people just don't come by just so they can see our pups. And yeah.
But it's true. I mean, I pay my insurance, my house insurance, and I never talk to anybody.
Right.
And things change, and we will talk about that a little bit more, how you need to know updates on your insurance policy. So every now and then it's really good to talk to somebody, and why not have a person that you can talk to locally, right? So the technology that you mentioned, that's wonderful, and it adds a personal touch.
Yes.
But in addition to that, you do so many other things. You get involved in the community, you give to charities. What part of that is about Horizon Insurance that you like?
So, we feel that it is so important that we support the community that supports us.
Sure.
Because without our clients, we wouldn't be in business. We have a refer a friend charity program that we're involved with. So every time a client or a prospect sends a referral to us, we donate $3 to 8 local charities. And then at the end of the year, we'll go around, and I have a big check. We go and deliver a check and take pictures, and
wonderful.
It is great. We also, in addition to just donating the money, our team, we've gone over to All Faiths Food Bank. We'll close down the office and do our charitable activity for the quarter. We'll, fill the boxes. I've also been fortunate enough to partner with one of our insurance companies, Safeco Insurance. They have a program, it's called Safeco Make More Happen. And with our charity involvement with the Charlotte County Homeless Coalition, Safeco is donating $10,000 to the Homeless Coalition.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
it's wonderful.
Great.
But yeah, so we like to get involved. We listen to the Joy FM at the office, and so we've participated in their stuff, the backpacks, collecting food, and also with the troops. We've collected food and personal items and shipped them to the troops overseas. So we like, more than just giving money, we want to be involved and interact
in the community.
Absolutely.
Where we all live. Yes.
Right. Yes.
Now, I looked at your website,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of helpful information on there. So what can our viewers find on there that we don't have time to talk about today necessarily?
So with our website, we have It's fairly easy to follow. So across the top, we have the 3 main insurance sections. We have our personal insurance, which is going to cover your home, your auto, toys like boats and RVs. We also have a section in there for wedding insurance. You know, people don't necessarily think about that, but you know, things can go wrong in your wedding. So if you have some insurance to pay for those expenses, you know, say that the banquet facility burns down, you know, and you need to find another one.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know, that wedding insurance could help with that. Yeah. Another tab is our business insurance. So it's going to talk about all things business related, your liability insurance, property insurance, commercial auto, workers' compensation. And then our next tab is the financial services tab, and that focuses more on the life insurance area. We have some information in there on key man insurance. Mm-hmm. You could have a key person in your organization that, you know, God forbid something happens to them, they die. You could have a life insurance policy on them that would pay to your organization to help keep your company afloat while you try and find a replacement for that key person. We talk about succession planning. You can utilize life insurance to help transition your business over to, you know, future owners. Customer service. We have a section in there where you could sign up for our newsletter. We like to stay in contact with our clients, mm-hmm. and anybody that's interested. We will email you out our newsletter, so you could sign up for our newsletter. It has information on how to make payments directly to the company. It has our claims information, so if we're not open, you can
Great.
Find out about that.
Great.
And then we also have our About Us, you know, section, so it has the maps of, you know, where to find us if you do want to come by and see our pups. And
great.
Yeah.
And the pups will be there, so we can do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that sounds delightful. It sounds like you've got everything that people want to know, and if there isn't, they can call you.
Absolutely.
And come in and see you.
And we welcome that.
Great.
Yep.
Well, thank you for being here again.
Thanks,
We'll
Nancy.
see you soon.
Yes.
Okay. Next, Dr. Jenny Wilkins from ageVital Pharmacy has more tips on staying healthy for us, so don't go away. A low sex drive is not something most of us like to talk about in public, but it's more common than you think for both men and women. There are things you can do to help a low libido. Here to discuss natural solutions to boost your love life is Dr. Jenny with ageVital Pharmacy.
Let's talk about sex, Nancy.
Baby.
Like that song.
Okay.
I love it.
All right.
But people don't like talking about it. And it's something, this is a fundamental thing of being alive and being human. Makes the world go round.
I thought you were going to say it was fun.
Yeah,
Fun.
and well, it's fun. You know, it's great exercise. And it's on a rise right now. Erectile dysfunction and low libido in women because of all of those toxic pharmaceuticals.
Is that what
contribute?
Makes that happen?
Yes, all of these synthetic hormones in our food, in our water, in our environment. You have the xenoestrogens, the phytoestrogens, the endoestrogens, and it's reducing libido in women. It's reducing the libido in men. I mean, you have tap water that has estrin in it. You know, that's a synthetic hormone that's in our tap water, and that messes with your own hormones because you have a synthetic hormone. And then it's not just 60 plus, 70 plus, 80 plus, you know, population
it's
age.
Younger.
Right. You
It
have
is.
22-year-olds with erectile dysfunction or low libido. I speak with young girls that just got married. They're 22, 23, 24, and they're like, what is wrong with me?
What is wrong with me?
I don't think it.
Yeah.
I don't feel it, and I feel bad for my spouse.
Yes.
And it's usually, you know, it's either both of them or one of each. It's like, what can I do?
Yeah.
How can I increase my libido?
And what can they do?
Yep, you have multiple options. You can, you know, check, you know, dietary abnormalities, deficiencies to rebalance that endocrine system. For men, it's usually an interthelial problem, so a lack of circulation going to, you know, the manly bits, I call them, you know,
Yes.
that area doesn't have, you know, that increased blood flow.
So how do you get that back without taking the
Viagra,
the blue pill?
and Cialis, and those, and I do compound the Viagra and the Cialis and the Levitra, but I make it in a different format that's less toxic. Like this is a prescription, so I have all of these urology centers across the United States that order these troches or these RDT tablets. So now instead of taking a pill, a blue pill that has all of these excipients, dyes, preservatives, and fillers, and it takes about 30 minutes to work, they can take something underneath the tongue it dissolves with the oral mucosa and it signals the brain, because that's really what it is.
Exactly.
It's targeting where they're having the disorder.
Yeah.
So that sildenafil citrate's going to the brainstem and telling them, oh, let's get it on,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then it works too. I have a topical sildenafil citrate for women that works as look at that. That works as a lubricant. So I'll combine it with testosterone or aminophylline. I have topical foreplay creams. The best one, our biggest seller, is called the triple orgasmic cream.
Oh, jeez. You're so funny.
Yeah.
Are these X-rated products that you sell?
And the OBGYNs can't keep them in stock.
Oh
Those
my
are who's
gosh.
writing these prescriptions.
Wow.
And as far as like over-the-counter supplements though, zinc, they call it a poor man's Viagra. So it's very inexpensive. You're talking anywhere from $20 to $30, depending on the strength. And I make that in a lozenge as well. And they take that about 15 minutes to 20 minutes before sexual activity. And it makes them want to, you know, the men swing off the chandeliers. It's phenomenal. DHEA.
All the women may not quite want that, so.
Well, you know what happens though? I did a sexual health conference with several other doctors, and we had about 300 women, and it was women all over 50, and it was hysterical because it was the women, their libidos have increased because they balanced them out, and sometimes I'll get them dragging their men into my facilities or where my doctors are, and they're like, please help them. He can't keep up with me, you know, and they're like, no, I really can. It went from 0 to whoo, she just nonstop, once, twice, three times a day. Right,
You're
can you
so funny.
imagine? I tell women, why let men have all the fun?
Yeah.
Really, you know, when you look at the wild, the woman is the one that's in charge,
and look
right?
at you, you're dressed for it, Dr. O.
And then we do testosterone for men and women too. That's huge. So if a female or a male,
Testosterone for women.
testosterone, they call it the sexy hormone for a reason, because it helps, you know, with the thoughts and the stimulation. My goodness, if a woman does a shot of testosterone, an injection of testosterone, she's deficient, she's like, how do I turn it off? It's too much.
Oh my
how do I
gosh.
turn it off? I feel so young, and I just, you know, they go from having nothing to Mach 10 with their hair on fire.
And again, how often do you have to take this? You're making it very hard for me to be serious here.
Usually women will do 1 to 2 shots out of the year because it's a natural progression and those hormones will slowly decline.
Yeah,
So it's about staying on top of it and balancing out. In chemistry, it's called homeostasis. So it's about that homeostasis of the hormones and the homeostasis of the different nutrients. DHEA is a precursor to testosterone, and we sell that over the counter. So DHEA will convert into testosterone, and a lot of people will
Men
do the
and women?
men and women.
Okay.
Yep. So it's not just testosterone's not gonna, you know, grow anything funky on women. That's usually what women are fearful of. Am I gonna grow a mustache? Am I gonna grow something crazy? You know, am I gonna turn into a man? No, you won't turn into a man. You'll turn into a little
lioness,
sexual
right?
lioness.
That's
yes.
why they call Sarasota what, cougar?
All the men are going to be calling. Yeah, they do. But they do. But women are, you know, now discovering the secrets to a sexy, you know, healthy libido. And now it's, you know, the men. They don't want to talk about it. They usually just call on the phone. I was like, no, it's something that's natural.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that's it. I think there's why not discuss it? I mean, it's part of your life. It's part of, you know, who we are. And why not get healthy?
Absolutely, Nancy.
All right. Well, thank you for all these tips. I'm sure there'll be people beating down your door now. And we'll see you next week.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Esther Holt with Star Financial joins us after the break. We'll be right back. With more financial tips, Esther Holt with Star Financial Solutions is back, and she's explaining market corrections with us today. Well, market corrections.
Yeah.
What is a correction? I love when you come in because we get to talk about all of these terms that most of us don't get a chance to hear or get explained to us. So what is a correction?
A correction in the market is a downturn, short term, usually lasts maybe days or weeks, sometimes months, but that's it. And it happens almost every year.
Okay, now a normal amount of loss. Is that what the market goes down? Is that what a normal amount consists of? Is there a range there?
Correct. Normally a correction will be between 5 and 15%. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. As you can see from the chart that we just posted, all those little red dots are corrections. Every year, the first one is 1980, so you can see pretty much every year since 1980 we've had one. Some aren't so much, some are more, but usually between 5 and 15%. If it's over 20%, they consider that more going into a bear market territory, which will last a little longer.
Okay.
But the gray lines is where the market has ended up every year. And as you can see, most years it's ended up higher.
Okay, now you mentioned bear market. What's different between a bear market and a crash?
Well, a bear market and a crash versus a correction.
Yes.
So a bear market is when it goes down further than 20%, and it can also last a bit longer. So generally, a bear market's going to last a year. We've had twice in history where it's lasted more than a year, and then you have a crash. Most people remember 2008. That was a crash. It went down, you know, the markets went down a lot in a short period of time. But they don't happen that often. And normally, as I said, and as the chart showed, it's usually just 1 year. 2000 was a bear market, and that lasted until the middle of 2002.
Okay. Now, back to the corrections. You said they happen almost every year. Why is that? Is there a particular reason, or is there any more of a reason during an election year than other years?
Sometimes there's no reason. A lot of times it's because the market's been going up for an extended period of time. So like last year, the market went up, and then in February we corrected. So a lot of investors are taking money out of the market. They're taking their gains. Sometimes there's rumors that come out and people sell on a rumor. Sometimes it's the news. There's a lot of negativity in the news lately, so people get nervous and they sell. You know, and then sometimes it just happens. But, you know, it usually isn't a big deal. You don't make decisions based on a correction. You know, you invest for the long term and you'll be fine.
Okay, now, in my investment, should I think about changing them because of these market corrections? I mean, should I do anything when I see these things happening, or should I just kind of sit tight, Esther?
Absolutely not. Unless you are a short-term trader, which most of my clients and most of the people I know are not. Timing the market, which is what that's called, usually does not work. You invest for the long term based on the risk you want to take and your long-term goals. And if it's just a correction, you ride it out and you're invested correctly. If there's something where a bear market is coming, that's a little different. And usually when a bear market is coming or a crash, you do have signs ahead of time so that you can get ready for that. Also, that's why you work with a financial advisor always, because they will know how to navigate the rough seas, and they will know when it's time to maybe make some changes in your portfolio, or if you just hold on because it's not expected to last longer than a few weeks or months, and you'll come back up again.
That's why it's good to have a person, like you said, such as yourself, to talk to, because, of course, I would be nervous like anybody else that's investing their hard-earned precious dollars. So we come to you and you explain to us this
isn't the end of the. It's not the end of the world.
Right.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Don't look for a little while.
Yeah.
And you know, there's certain times when this happens. Generally before elections, you usually get a little snarky. Whenever there is a question out there, the markets do not like questions. So until you have the answer, sometimes you get a correction.
And there's always questions out there,
Right.
right? So it is a normal. It is a normal thing that happens.
Correct. Every year.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add before we close today?
Just work with an advisor, and you know, when these things happen, don't worry, it's coming back. Again, if it's a crash, you're going to see things where companies aren't making money, the economy's having some issues, local stores are closing, people are starting to lose their jobs. If none of that's going on, or if there's no bubble, a lot of times a bubble will cause, you know, a major market downturn. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay.
All right.
And
Great.
it will come back.
Great. Well, thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Aging Gracefully on Suncoast FYI. To find more tips from local experts, you can view previous episodes and complete seasons at snntv.com under Programming. We'll be back next Saturday and Sunday at 7 p.m. with more tips on how you can live a happier and healthy life. Until then, have a wonderful week.